You were that foundation, never gonna be another one, no.
I followed, so taken, so conditioned I can never let go.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review. Open Mike Eagle, Animal Hospital. Open Mike is a creative, witty, kind of eccentric California rapper, 1/3 of the Thirsty Fish hip-hop trio. And if I'm not mistaken, this is his 4th full-length album. For Mike, really smart-mouthed, out-of-the-box hip-hop has kind of always been his style. From 2010's unapologetic art rap to last year's Rappers Will Die of Natural Causes, even the dude's album titles are ahead of the curve. And his overall style and his flow is a huge influence on Milo. Mike even featured Milo on an EP that he put out recently too. This album maybe doesn't have Mike's boldest or most humorous statements to date, but because he stuck with one producer throughout this entire album, it really does have the most consistent feel of all his releases. Awkward is a producer from the UK, and he brought a really electronic feel to this album. The beats and the rhythms really groove, really have a sense of momentum to them, I guess, humanity. But as far as the synths go, a lot of the samples, it all feels kind of robotic. The synthesizers on this thing can range from being really kind of glossy and smooth to very sort of distorted, chaotic, kind of glitchy. There's just synthesizers of different shapes and sizes all over this LP. I really think that the beats on this thing bring sounds that Flying Lotus fans would love. Anybody who's a fan of just Brainfeeder records, Subtract too. There are a lot of instances where hip-hop and electronic music do not marry well. For me, a lot of it depends on the personality of the MC. And the thing is, Mike is just quirky and strange enough to make it work. And when he makes a point, he does it pretty well. Like on the song Hospital, which is just this introspective self-improvement track, I guess sort of checking yourself and looking back on a time when I guess you weren't the person you wanted to be. Another topical track that I like a lot, even though I'm not really in love with the singing on the hook, is Backpack Past, which is hilarious and features Mike kind of giving advice to now irrelevant backpack rappers as to how they can transition into this new rap scene, and sort of tongue-in-cheek recommends doing heroin, getting some skinny jeans, doing some R&B. And the song The Financial Crisis That Wouldn't Go Away, if you were ever looking for, I guess, a musical guide to our current financial crisis, that's it. Some of the topical tracks on here don't really do it for me. Either they seem too outlandish, kind of like dance bills, or they are so short they kind of derail the flow of the album, even though I do think they kind of hit upon a very important topic, kind of like the song Debits, where Mike really tears apart the concept of putting yourself thousands of dollars into debt just to kind of get a degree that's not getting you anywhere in life. As far as the free range tracks on here go, shit's technical like Francis Ford Coppola scenes, a bad analogy since I don't know what it means. Mike kind of crafts lots of weird, funny lines like that. His style isn't really in creating tongue twisters, spitting fire, or throwing out layered lines just covered in coded language. Mike is more enjoyable for his personality, his nobility. I just kind of came out of this album with a list of pros and cons. I feel like some tracks could have been longer. I am on the fence with some of the hooks, and when Mike isn't really telling a story with a certain song, a clear story, some of his lines just kind of go in one ear and out the other. I did kind of grab a loose concept on this album, which I kind of liked, where I heard Mike throughout the album kind of being coached by the studio engineer in between songs, who I guess is holding him captive. But I'm just kind of getting tidbits of that. I wish there was a stronger connection between the tracks in regards to whatever kind of concept or theme Mike was trying to bring together. Mike has a really kind of unique and great sound and style, but I don't feel like the assembly and the execution is top notch though all the time. Still a really good listen, feeling a decent to strong 7 on this thing. What did you guys think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And what should I review next? Anthony Fantano, Open Mike Eagle, forever.